Morning, Pilgrims. Sure, been seeing a lot of you folks around lately. Country's kind of going to hell, seems to me. They call it progress, but not sure I need any progress. Next thing you know, we're going to have to protect the wilderness. Probably be drawing a line around it, and staking off boundaries. Well, if it keeps up, people are going to lose sight of the skills that we learned out here. That'll be a real shame if we lose track of those skills.
In 1964, Congress passed the Wilderness Act. This act authorized the designation of certain federally owned lands as wilderness areas, which must be protected and preserved in their natural condition. In keeping with the character of lands designated as wilderness, the use of motorized equipment is prohibited unless absolutely necessary. Therefore, public agencies such as the Forest Service need to explore non-mechanized means of maintaining and constructing trails and bridges in wilderness areas. Some people refer to the maintenance techniques used in wilderness areas as primitive skills. Others, perhaps like the mountain man, just think of this as going back to the basics. The Piute Bridge is an example of the construction of a strategic wilderness bridge without using motorized equipment. The bridge is located on the Sierra National Forest, about 13 miles east of Florence Lake. Every year, especially in the spring, the bridge offers numerous backpackers and horsepackers a safe crossing of Piute Creek as they follow the John Muir Trail from the Sierra National Forest into Kings Canyon National Park. Fred Ross, a long-term packer in the area, recalls the history of the Piute Bridge.
Built in 1914, and it was a cable bridge across this creek, which is most of the time a rushing torrent. And it was the first bridge, to my knowledge, that was built across here for public use. 1914 was just before they went through here with the Muir Trail. And then sometime in the late 50s, it was replaced by a steel girder bridge, which was under-engineered.
According to Mike Ketcher, project foreman, the bridge needed to be replaced because of deterioration due to age and inadequate design for winter snows.
The Piute Bridge, as we know it now, was originally constructed in 1958. As you can see, looking across at the bridge from this angle, it's got a lot of wows and warps in it. In 1969, it was completely crushed to the bottom of the stream bed. The reason we were replacing it is it's a maintenance headache. We found that it's only been constructed for 80-pound snow load, and most winters carry much more snow load than this.
Bridge building in the wilderness is often granted a limited exemption to motorized equipment. In order to save time and money assembling new bridges, helicopters and rock drills have frequently been used in the past. Dudley Robertson, Recreation and Wilderness Officer, explains why the Pine Ridge Ranger District chose to follow a more literal interpretation of the Wilderness Act.
Yeah, I guess basically we wanted to accept the challenge of completing this project by the use of primitive skills, which meant no motorized equipment, no helicopters, no rock drills, no chainsaws, no generators, nothing of that sort. And we looked on it as an opportunity to complete a very worthwhile project that you could hang your hat on at the end of the summer, and an opportunity to develop primitive skills within the organization.
So it was a real effort and a real exciting part of the job to talk to people who were experts in their field and still had some of the skills that we needed to pull off a project of this magnitude in the backcountry.
One of the most significant, I guess, successful parts of the project was the design job that Regional Office Engineering did. Nelson Hernandez was responsible for designing the bridge, and they really did a fantastic job. The bridge was fabricated and pre-assembled in Rigby, Idaho, and Mike Kitcher went up and inspected the bridge prior to shipping it out to California.
They put it all together in a barn there, or some sort of a building, and to try it out before they even galvanized it, just to see that it fit together.
I probably built that bridge in my head 100 times, and when we got out in the field, it actually went together just like we saw it. The transportation of the bridge project, of the bridge itself, was started out to be kind of a fiasco because the truck that brought it from Idaho that was supposed to deliver it to Florence Lake broke down coming up the mountain. So from Albury we delivered it by truck, 22,000 pounds, to Florence Lake. From Florence Lake it went on ferry boat across Florence Lake. From there we started out packing the 10 miles to the bridge site, 240 mule loads, and that was not just 240 trips, that was 240 trips one way. We involved packers from 2 different pack stations in the High Sierra area to also pack loads in for us, including the Park Service.
The longest piece of steel was about 6 feet and weighed about 74 pounds, so that would easily go on a mule with a piece of steel on each side.
Tom Weir, District Ranger, comments on how the construction of the Piute Bridge differed from previous bridge-building projects on the Pine Ridge Ranger District.
Being flew them in with helicopter and just dropped them in on the site. And this is very definitely a different approach for us in the last couple of years.
We're doing it all the hard way. So we feel in this district that some of these skills are being lost, and we ought to get them back, and they're good skills to have, good skills to know.
I was impressed yesterday when I came up here and saw the way those guys just fell into place and started doing the things that they knew that they had to do.
When you're so far away from the nearest hardware store, it's real important that you have all of the materials, all the tools, all the equipment on site that you need to complete the project. And we used a lot of natural materials, even for the catwalks, the scaffolding, because of the amount of additional pack loads that it would have taken to get all of that material in and out.
This one actually went together extremely easy.
The bridge was very well designed. The pieces fit together really good. It was actually like putting a big erector set together. As the project went along, the enthusiasm that it built brought out district ranger, forest supervisor, recreation officer, SO recreation officer, the public information officer came out, and we even had some people from the newspapers out there. So it was a real exciting project, a real team effort.
Look around, there's 12 of us working up here today when there was only 6 on the crew or something like that.
But then, no project is perfect.
We did run into some obstacles or problems, you might call them, that we didn't anticipate, but one of the problems we knew that would happen would be that backpackers would be hiking and not be able to cross. So we started with information in backpacker magazines, publications, any type of backpacker or horse packing publication. to get the message out in January and give people plenty of time, and there are still backpackers who were not getting the information, or the information was not getting out to backpackers and horse users that the bridge was out.
It was very nice of these people to help us across, and I really appreciated the help they did give us getting across.
The other problems were, and we couldn't anticipate, were the softness of the rock. We broke a couple anchor bolts, and we pulled some rocks out of the ground. We hadn't found big enough rocks or big enough material to hold that overhead support system.
And then there was one other minor problem.
The bridge seems to be a little bit short. We made some adjustments. We pulled a little harder on some pieces so that when the bridge contracted, it would not pull the anchor bolts right out of the seam and abutments.
And of course, no backcountry project would be complete without stories about camp life.
Work? Get dirty? You're sleeping outside. Anywhere. Just don't sleep under that snag.
You got a tarp somewhere?
That's reserved for the forest supervisor.
Yeah.
I snore.
Beg your pardon? You snore?
Well, you sleep on the...
I walk in my sleep, Nelson. I'm looking for a bear, you know. You with that curly hair, you better watch out, you know. I started way back in February trying to handpick a crew, and it didn't work. And this is what I ended up with. You know? This is the dirty half dozen. Everybody knows everybody.
Now that we came in, three of us, let's see, Cowboy and Piute, and together, and we all got our books out, our paperbacks out.
We're all reading the same thing.
All reading Louis L'Amour.
All reading.
The bridge project brought assorted comments from hikers and others.
We need more bridges like this. I hope this one stays.
This is historic.
I think it's terrific.
Well, that's a heck of a bridge they got there. Piute Bridge turned out to be a real successful project, and we accomplished everything we wanted to in a time frame that we couldn't even imagine we could do.
And I know one thing, that we've sure increased our ability to handle this type of problem.
Everything went really smooth, and it was a real team effort from all parts of the Forest Service, Park Service, and the local community.
It helped us build our confidence, and we now know that we can accomplish some pretty major projects in the backcountry through the use of primitive skills. A real opportunity to do something that we can really hang our hat on.
The Piute Creek Bridge is open for business.
Yeah, that's good news. We'll pass the word. Thanks. Can't beat that 5-1.
All right. Yeah. Let's take a break, boys.